too bad. I'll put in the other 2 screws, and then we'll drop it in the router. Or in the table, actually. It is the router. Cord down. There we go. It's in there. Then this pivot pin can go here, which would give me a nice way to pivot into the bit. It's not too bad. It can come off. Now, one of the things I might do is in the back here, just go ahead and get one of those, you know, hammer in thread. I don't know what you call them. Use them on the bottom of feet. Sometimes they got the little tacks that grip in, and you can screw in a metal bolt just there to hold that on the side, so I can easily grab it, and so it's not, you know, it's easy to get to, but I can move it. I have a couple other things I need to do here. One, the plate is actually below the surface a little. I need to level that, as well as screw the plate down. I have a way to do that. I'm not sure if it's really necessary. I really don't feel that router going anywhere. What I'm going to do with these screws is they're going to go kind of one each in each corner, kind of like this, right? 2 will go there, 2 will go in this corner. And what I'll do is I'll screw them up from the bottom, right? And then I can use and adjust those, right, to raise and lower the metal plate just slightly to make it nice and level. And I can adjust that over time up and down if I need to. And that'll give me a little bit of flexibility. Eventually I would like to get another router. I'm really happy with the Triton. I might get the larger Triton and then make the 2¼ horsepower my go-to handheld router for doing mortises and stuff, and mount the 3 horsepower in the table. So if I don't use this plate or can't use this plate, it should work. Plus if the wood moves a little, the metal plate's not going to, I can readjust and keep everything flat. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to get a drill, right? And I'm just going to go ahead and drill these holes as vertical as possible. Okay, and then this screw will come up from the bottom. Now what I'll do is I'll screw it in from the top just to make sure, or just to help me establish the threads. So the hole I drilled is the size of the shank of the screw, minus, you know, the threads, of course. So now I can go ahead and mount this from the bottom. And you can see it raising up there. And that's just enough to raise and lower that plate. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put 2 in each corner, right, all the way around, and then we'll go ahead and set the plate in. Okay, so now I can see what areas are high and low. Adjust accordingly. Right? Good there. We're low here. Bring it up. help support. Right. There we go. This corner can come up just a tad. And simple. Now I bought those screws from Rockler. To be honest with you, you could probably use any kind of screw. Something like a lag screw I think would work better, like a little thicker, say opposed to the drywall screw. It gives a little more surface to hit on. But plate's good. Stuff is not. Let's try. Look at that. Look at that. It's so pretty. Up and down we go. Oh. Not too bad. Now there's one other thing I want to do to my rack I have these boards. They're actually maple. Now I want to go ahead and attach to this to kind of beef it up. Originally it was supposed to have something like this to keep the melamine from getting chipped up. Melamine is already kind of chipped up. It's okay. This is going to help prevent it from getting worse. Nothing fancy. Probably not going to even miter the corners. I'll just butt them. That's fine by me. Those will just get screwed on, and show you how to do that. I'm just going to wrap this in this maple. I'll hold it there with my fat gut. Mark the length. Right, got the length right there. I'm just going to go over and just nip that off with the bandsaw, roughly. I'm going to pass a hand plane over this and clean up these burn marks from the saw. Nothing fancy, just enough to clean them up. And then I'll head over to the drill press and start drilling holes and countersinks for the screws. There we go. Just enough to clean the burns up. I don't care about the burns on this side. It's going to face the melamine just on the outside surface. Not too bad. It's easier than sanding. Go ahead and just drive some screws in. You could glue it. Glue's not. I mean, glue would help a little, but it's that core of that melamine is just particle board, so not so much gripping there. I put a little more screws on the front than I did the sides, just because that's where my fat gut rubs up against it all the time. So a little more staying power. Keep my gut from knocking it out of place. These are little star drive screws. They're nice. I have a high spot right here that wood could get caught on. I'm just going to flush it up with a block plane. Nothing fancy, I just don't want wood to get caught on it. There we go. So the last thing I can do, I want to soften these edges. Now the bottom edge, I'm just going to take a block plane pull that edge off. I'll do that all the way around. Knock the edges off the corner. Okay, well, we can go ahead and give the router table a try. Here is my first router kit. My father-in-law got me for Christmas. It's one of those ones you get at Lowe's or Home Depot or any big box store. And it comes with like 30 different bits that you can use. They're all 1/4 inch shank. There's nothing real beefy in it. And they're not the best drill bits you can get. But when you're starting out, it gives you a lot of drill bits for a relatively reasonable price. And what I've started to do is replace the ones I use often with beefier 1/2 inch ones. Now that my trading router can take 1/2 inch shanks. My old Sears, right? This old bad boy could only take 1/4 inch shanks. But now I know which bits I really need to invest some money in to get basically better bits. I know which ones I use all the time, and I know, frankly, this one here is probably the first time I'm ever sticking it in my router. But I know, what I need and what I don't need. And it's a good way to jump in, and then you can start getting better bits to replace the ones you use a lot without spending a lot of money on bits you don't use often. This bit I don't really use that often. In fact, I think this is the first time I used it. And so there's no need to go and get a big beefy 1/2 inch bit for that. One of the things that's nice about this router table is when you raise the bit up, it locks the collet so I can unscrew and I can do all my adjustments and put all my bits in above the table. My old one, I would have to pull it out, bring it out, put it in, stick it back in, adjust it. I would have to adjust it. There's a knob back here, and I would literally, under the table, fiddle with its position, and then I'd kind of lock it down, and if I was off a little, I would have to, up and down with it. Here, what is nice is now all my adjustments pretty much are above the table. I can lower the bit. I can find, where I need. I can start out low, right? And then I can lock down the router. Now, one of the things I want to do is put in my new safety feature, which is my pivot pin. All right, and I'll just go like that. Bad, put a nice little cove on that. Now I can take my router, unlock it, come up, lock, take another pass. Not bad. And now that that safety switch is engaged, every time I change a bit, I'll have to re-engage that, but not too bad. Did a beautiful job. It even sounds different. The variable speed and soft start on this make a world of difference. Well, I have to say, I'm really pleased. There are still a little more adjustments I can make to this. One of the things I want to do is put some screws to hold these on the side. As well as I think I can make some fence adjustments. It'd be nice to get something to attach feather boards, as well as maybe a miter track. Not so much for a miter gauge, they tend to not be necessary on a router table, but they're good for attaching things like feather boards. So in that regard, I think they're very useful that way, as well as a T-track on my fence, but that's another day. That's another project. I think we made great strides with this router table. Another thing I could do is I could fasten it down to the table. Don't really think there's a need to. The weight will just hold it there. I like being able to pop it out if necessary. And in a quick pinch, if I need to, this could be my router base. If I need to pull it out and do something, I can go ahead and do that, round over an edge real quick. I got this old bad boy that's great for kind of doing this kind of things. It's my dad's router. I'll never get rid of it. In fact, he's been kind of asking about it. My dad doesn't do much woodworking anymore, but he loved that router. And it was a good router in its day. Something like this offers a lot more functionality under the table. And I'm pleased. So any questions, let me know. Anything you think I could do better here, please let me know. I'm learning. This is more of a documentation of my journey in this and what I do. Hopefully I document it so I can look back, but also you might find some useful information, like watching me screw this up and how I fixed it, but not only that, how I probably should have went about doing it in the first place. My email is theinternetwoodworker@gmail.com. Please don't hesitate to write. Until next time.